Welcome to the Real Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, T. Ares, and I have a special guest today, Alexandra Rider. The name confuses me because una Latina with a writer. So I want to ask her about that a little bit because I want to know where she got her last name. She is an excellent attorney. She's a new entrepreneur, has a lot of knowledge all about anything that you're talking about, estate planning, immigration. She is your go-to. She's new in the entrepreneur world, but she has so much knowledge that will help any entrepreneur. So my guest, Alexandra, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much, T. I'm very excited to be here with you and having a conversation, and so impressed with your office and everything.
Thank you. Well, there's one other thing that I didn't mention here. So Alex, I like to call her, she is a Toastmaster as well. She is a really good public speaker. She has the best humor and she gives you the best stories ever. So hopefully she could throw some of those stories your way and you'll see what I'm talking about, but she is excellent at what she does. And I want to commend you for that because you really speak well in front of a crowd.
Thank you, T.
So the one thing I wanted to talk about is estate planning, which is something that you've got into, and I want to talk a little bit about it. Maybe we should start first with your entrepreneurship and how you got into it, and then we could go with the estate planning, immigration. But I think I want to hear how you got into being an attorney, then jumping into, I want to do this on my own. I want to have my own company. Give me that story.
Okay, well, I went to law school in Peru. I graduated and everything, and I came to the States long time ago.
Okay.
And I always wanted to be an attorney in the United States. So I waited a long time for my kids to grow up, to be out of the nest, and then I went to law school here. And I started working for my school, which was a great job. In my heart, I have a special love for foreign trained attorneys.
Okay.
Because I am attorney trained in Peru and now in the United States, but I know especially in Miami, there's a lot of attorneys from different countries, from Cuba, Venezuela, Peru, Colombia, and they have that dream. So that's why I started working in my school, recruiting students for the LLM program. And then I decided that I wanted some freedom. Because when you work for somebody else, even if you have a very flexible schedule, you don't own your time. And I wanted to own my time. So I said, why not? Why not start my law firm? And that's what I did at the beginning of last year, January of 2024.
Scary, huh? Scary. Or was it exciting? Or was it exciting?
It was exciting, but it was.
It's okay.
Okay. But it was very scary, and but you know what, T, the freedom, I experienced that freedom for the first time in my life because I always work for somebody else. But the freedom now that I can, I was telling a friend the other day, she asked me, how do you like working for yourself now? And I said, oh my God, it's so awesome because now I own my time. I can go home at any time I want to. And she's like, Alex, it's 8:30 p.m. and you're still in the office. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, but if I wanted, I could leave at 2.
That's right.
So that's why I like it. But the fear is always there. And I'm going to tell you a story which stuck with me. In a workshop, when you get paired with somebody else to do a an exercise, something like that. And we were all attorneys, right? So I was paired with this attorney who's an estate planning attorney, and he has over 25 years of experience, and he owned his law firm over more than 25 years ago. He started that law firm. So, and the question was, how do you feel about what you do? Do you feel 100% confident? Do you feel scared, or do you feel like an imposter? And then we had to compare. And of course, I just started my law firm, so I wrote down, I feel like an imposter. And guess what he wrote? He wrote the same thing.
Wow.
I feel like an imposter. And I was like, how is that an attorney that has a law firm for over 25 years, he specializes in estate planning, and he feels like an imposter? And this is because it's all about mindset. It doesn't matter the experience, how long you have worked on your trade. It's about the mind.
The mind.
How you think. And that reminds me the story of the two wolves and the child that was kind of in an Indian reservation or something like that. And this kid was asking their grandfather to tell him a story, and the grandfather did, and he said, well, all of us have two wolves inside. One is the wolf that is confident, and the other is the wolf that is in fear all the time. And then the kid asked, which wolf? And the grandpa said, and they're always fighting. And then the kid said, but who wins? And the answer was like, whoever you feed the most.
Right.
If you feed your fear the most, that will win and will prevent you from what you want to do.
That's a great analogy. I've heard that before, but it's just, once you have that, like you said, the fear and the confidence, it's a lot easier sometimes to quit.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna wake up early, let me just sleep it off. And it's really hard, at least for me too, to get out of that mindset. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of meditation. I've been, you know, just making sure that I fix my head. You know, I'm reading books and just trying to make sure that I'm healthy up here in the head, you know?
Yeah. There is a book, T, that's called The War, W-A-R, of Art, A-R-T. And the author is Pressfield.
What's it called? The what?
The War of Art, not The Art of War.
Oh, okay.
Because that's another book.
Yeah, because I read that one.
Yeah, no, this is called The War, W-A-R, of Art, A-R-T. And it's about resistance. And he says that the more exciting, the more you want something to, you know, like you have a project that it scares you, but it excites you, the more resistant you will feel. And resistance will fight for you not to get off the couch, not to stop playing your little games on your phone, in order for you not to risk.
Right.
Because when you do something, when you are growing, it's uncomfortable. Sure. It's scary and it's uncomfortable. And resistance doesn't want you to grow because doesn't want to feel that uncomfort, that fear, that, you know, that stretch.
Right.
So this work,
I'll
this
read
book
it.
is really good.
I'll definitely read it. I try to read a book a week. I haven't been doing very well lately because the kids and stuff, but there's no excuse. I need to like get back on track, but I like to always have a new book to read. Yes. And that would be a good one. And I always think, you know, the mind is so powerful. And I think that the problem is that your fear is like holding you back, and then you don't want to, like, it's like something said like that, the devil on your shoulder, that, you know, you're like,
the two voices.
Yeah, and then what does the body want to do? It wants to keep you comfortable. You know, you're supposed to be, you know, protected, and that's what your body's doing. And that's why, you know, when I've read like David Goggin, have you ever heard of David Goggin?
Yes.
I read both of his books, and you know, and he's like, I want to make calluses on my mind. You know, he wants to work it out because he's always having that fear and that fighting of it, and he gets up and he doesn't want to run, but I got to do it. You know, so that's great to have that book and
force yourself.
Yeah, force yourself to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's, you know, easier said than done, but you should really fight it. I've been lately doing, if I don't want to do something, I do it. Like I've been trying to do that because sometimes you want to do the easy stuff.
Yes.
And that's, you know, oh yeah, let me just breeze through this. But I think that's great. That's great, you know, the book and stuff. I always think all this comes together. You know, the law of attraction, the mind, you wanting to start your own business. You know, sometimes it all works together, because if you're not strong enough mentally, you won't get past that hump. You've been a year with your business, and you know, you said that you were working till 8 o'clock, but now you're working for yourself. So for you, it doesn't feel like work.
It does not,
Right.
because it's something that you love, it's something that you can control, and it makes you happy, and you know that you're making a difference for people.
Correct. And that's why you mentioned about the foreign nationals that are not being helped. And I think that if you are listening to this and you are somebody that maybe was thinking, hey, I can't be an attorney because my attorney license was in Peru and I can't do it here. I don't know the language.
Yes, you can.
Living proof right here.
Yes, you can.
So I love that, because that gives people motivation to say, hey, if you could do it, I could do it.
Exactly.
If you could open a business, somebody else could do it.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just, you know, like you said, it's all about, maybe it starts with the mindset.
It does.
You know?
It does, T. And I tell you, I talk to a lot of foreign trained attorneys from different places, different countries, and there are several steps that you need to do to help them, because a very important one, like we said, is the mindset. And I remember I told this lady, because she told me, she introduced herself to me, and she said, oh, I used to be an attorney in Venezuela. And I said, you are an attorney here in the United States, in Venezuela, in China, in Japan, wherever. The fact that you don't have your license to practice here yet, it's another story. But the years that you spent training for this, going to law school, all the nights that you study with your group, and all the sacrifices in your country to get to where you are right now, nobody will take away that from you.
That's right. Well, that's good. That's good. Yes. You know, a lot of people don't see it that way. And I have I know a lot of people that they're doctors in their country, or they're a nurse, but they're not, they don't want to, like, they're scared to take the license or try to go to the school. They get intimidated, and they really need to think, hey, if I did it once, I could do it again.
Exactly.
You know? So it's something you could do. You have it in you to do it. So
if it's your dream, go for it. If you decide, no, that was another time in my life, this is a different time, I don't want to do that, I want to do something different, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't feel bad also. But if you had in you the dream of becoming an attorney here, go for it.
Right. I agree. I love that you're thinking of helping others. And I think that's why you're going to be successful at what you do, and why you're successful at what you do, because you help people, and you help others. God helps you tenfold. You know, you do something good. So I always believe in that. Like, I know that like for the estate planning. I send you a customer, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, and he was like, "Where do I go? How do I do this?" And I told him, "Look, you need to go, see my friend Alex. She'll help you out." And again, you did a great job with them.
We are almost done with his plan, and even before we were done with it, he referred me to his friend.
There you go.
So I'm taking care of his friend too. Thank you, T.
Yeah,
I call you to thank you because that's awesome. And they're amazing people.
Yeah.
The Barons, and they love you. They said that they know you since you were a little kid.
We're like family.
Yes,
definitely,
he said that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, no problem. I wanted to ask you about immigration.
Okay.
Right. I know that that's one of your practices that you do. But what I want to talk about is we have Donald Trump now. He's going to be president. And it's a big hot topic. What's going to happen to all these illegals that are coming in? Or how do they deport them? All this stuff. What do you think is going to happen in that, in that realm? Are you going to be, are people going to be calling attorneys nonstop? Hey, I'm getting deported. Do they even have a right to get an attorney? How does that, what's your opinion?
Okay, you always can have your attorney, always, either, in some cases, the state would provide an attorney. In other cases, but in immigration, you have to hire an attorney.
Okay.
But I always tell my clients or prospective clients or people that have called me, chill out. You need to chill out because we don't know yet. There is a lot of talk. There is a lot of anxiety. The truth is that we need a reform, an immigration reform.
Right.
And we have needed that for many, 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 many years. And we hope that will happen in the best way, because what I think, T, is that if you come to this country with a dream and you work hard and you contribute, you have your family, you are contributing to the economy, you're paying your taxes, you are a good citizen, why not? Right. To find a way for you to become a resident and then a citizen and open the doors for you. But if you're a criminal and you come from one of our countries or another country and you don't have a legal status and you dedicate yourself to crime, that's not right. And that is not fair. And that gives us a bad name to all of us that are immigrants.
Right, of course.
So, there's two different phases, two different parts of the whole equation, and that needs to be looked at. Now, what could happen? Okay, one of the talks is that because of technology, for example, there will be more use of technology, for example, with drones
like in the border, you're saying?
Yes, in the border, for example, more use of technology for for other visas too. Like, for example, the visas right now are about more the family, to keep the families together, but it could be a tendency to change that for more type of visa in terms of what you deserve, like your academic background, like Canada, for example, your academic background, the type of profession you have, how much you deserve more a visa because of your credentials that another person that doesn't have that. So that's another, tendency maybe that will happen, a change that could happen in immigration. We don't know. Then another change or a brand new thing that could happen is now refugees are look in terms of because of war in their countries, because of crime, because of persecution, And now a new category of immigrants could be open because of all the the natural disasters that are going on in the world.
Got it. Right.
People being displaced because of natural disasters.
Right.
That could happen. We don't know, but that's also a conversation that it's going on.
Right. Right.
So it's interesting things, but in terms of what will really happen, we have to wait and see.
Right. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of things in the air now. The immigration, even for us, like on the mortgage side, where the rates haven't really dropped. There's been 2 rate drops, and rates are going higher.
Oh wow!
And I think it's because there's so much uncertainty from the market. What's going to happen? So I guess in a few weeks, or I think it's like a few days, or on the 20th, once he takes power, I guess we'll start getting a little more feel for it, and hopefully, and I know for sure we're going to get better. You can't get worse than this guy, but it's going to get way better, and I think we'll start seeing a decrease in hopefully food. There's not going to be as much, and if not, hopefully we get more money somewhere else. But the immigration thing, people sometimes will ask me, hey, what do you think of immigration? And I say, my parents came here. I was born in Miami, but my parents came avoiding a communist country, but they did it the right way. They had to apply for a visa. They had to go to Mexico. They had to stay there a year. They had to adapt. Then they were able to come in, and that's what I tell everybody. Any of the gringos that I know, that they're like, oh, but that's weird. No, if my parents did it, you could do it. It's just people taking advantage of the situation. But I agree with the bad people.
Yeah.
If you're doing crime here now, get rid of those people immediately, because that is a problem. That's a big problem.
We are paying from our taxes to keep them.
Oh yeah.
In the.
Oh, I know. I ask all those.
Correctional.
I know. I asked them, who are the people? New York, California. I know that they've been, giving a lot of money to the illegals or whatever. But hopefully that all changes, and we're gonna get back to normal, which I know we are. But that's a subject that I wanted to cover with you. Now, when I talk to you about immigration, what exactly do you specialize in immigration? So then that way the audience knows, if, hey, I need some advice, what is it that you do for them?
I like to do investment visas.
Okay.
Because it's exciting to me.
Nice. Okay.
And
tell me a little bit about that, because I have no idea how that works.
There's different types of visa for investment. There are visas that will take you to the green card or the residency, and there are some visas that will not take you to the green card, because the idea is that you don't have that intent of residing in the United States permanently.
Okay.
And but it's something that it's very exciting. For example, I have a brand new clients that I was talking to them yesterday. They are from Panama. We have a treaty with Panama, so they qualify under that type of visa, the E2 treaty visa, and they bought a restaurant here in Doral.
Oh, good.
And it's very exciting to see them planning and what they want to do, and how they had also another company, and they have a company in Panama, and how they're transferring all that and the ideas. It's a lot of work, because you have to have a lot of documentation and everything in a business plan, and a strategy for taxes and everything. But it's something that it's exciting.
That's cool.
And I love that they already have today, as a matter of fact, they're taking possession of the restaurant.
Good.
And
Wow.
the idea of this type of visa is an investment visa is to provide work to people in the United States, right? And they have already 5 employees.
Oh wow.
Yes.
All right.
So it's something that excites
That's
me.
all right. That's something that you're talking about that I really didn't even know how that worked. So it's really interesting on how somebody could come and invest here and then eventually get their visa because they're bringing in jobs, money, and helping the economy of course.
and new ideas and they're excited because that restaurant is here in Doral. It's in that golf course. And they're thinking on how they're gonna cater to the golf people there that play and the homes that are in the area
and their food that
the type of food, the fusion that they want to do.
That's awesome.
That's very exciting.
Yeah,
so I love that. Also, I like to do, for example, the citizenship. My dog trainer, who's amazing. If you need a dog trainer, let me know because he is like Cesar Millan, the guy on TV, is the dog whisperer.
Nice. Oh.
Yeah, I have 2 Yorkies, and my daughter came from New York with her huge dog. And my Yorkies, they have the Doberman complex.
For sure.
And they were like, whoa, we hate you, get back to your place. What are you doing in my home? It was horrible. It was World War III at home. We had to text my daughter, we're going to the kitchen with the dogs. Okay. She'll go back to her room with her. It was a nightmare.
Oh my
now
God.
I show you the picture. They sleep together, the 3
Really?
of them. It took 6 weeks.
Wow.
And they are. It's like
now
my God.
Now they're family.
They're now family. And of course, I was asking him, what is your style? Because he's from Trinidad. I believe. And then I was asking, what is your status? And he's like, oh, I've been a resident for more than 25 years. I'm like, what? Give me all your documentation. You're becoming a citizen now. So I'm doing his citizenship papers for free, of course.
Good.
Yeah, he's amazing.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, that's I see the joy, in your eyes. I see that you're happy about being free and doing, even though when you're an entrepreneur you're working more than a regular job because it's your own, and you're gonna treat it a lot more with respect and want to build it, and it's your puppy. But and I see that it's
the excitement that you have, because when you are a responsible person, you work the same either for yourself or for an employer, because you are responsible and that's part of who you are. But here is the excitement of what is next, who can I help now, and who's coming, and what is going on with this person, and calling your clients, or how are you doing, what is new, and that's what is
amazing.
Great. I love that.
That's awesome. I wanna try to finish off with you, because you're the proof is in the pudding. Like I say, you were able to not only become an attorney from your country. You were an attorney, made yourself an attorney here, and now you became an entrepreneur. You're a new entrepreneur. But what advice would you give a new entrepreneur that might want to take that step, that's kind of on the fence? What would you do? What would you recommend? What's your advice?
I think that if you want to have your own business, don't be naive and put away money. You need to have some money.
Right.
Okay, it's better if you save it, if you have a plan and you save the money, so you have something to hold on. Mm-hmm. Also, that will be number 1. Number 2 is that there are people, know yourself too. There are people that work better with others and with a boss, and they don't have, or they don't want to apply the discipline needed to be an entrepreneur. because nobody's controlling you, nobody's checking on you. So if you feel like you want to watch TV the entire day, nobody's gonna say, "Oh no, you can't do it."
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
and like we said before, the book The War of Art, you know, applies to that, because there's the resistance. The more important a project is or a dream is for you, the more resistance you are going to feel. So that. Number 3, talk to people that know the business that you are going to get into it. And even though if it's expensive, pay for consulting, but make sure you get references. And I have the best consulting company that it's called How to Manage a Small Law Firm, and works with attorneys that want to start their own law firm.
Nice.
And I think that it's expensive, but if you get the consulting, or if you get the advice from people that are reputable, and they know what they're doing, and they have the best intentions and not just to take your money, listen to them and hire them, because it will save you a lot of tears, a lot of sweat, a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of regret.
Right.
So just go for it. And I think that's very important. The other thing is find your tribe. Find your business tribe. We are a group of like over 600 attorneys, and we are all they are doing the same thing. Some of them, they have law firms that bill over $10 million, $50 million. Some of them, like me, were small, that we are starting.
Right.
But the brotherhood, the sisterhood is there, and there is a lot of support. So find your tribe and your big support group.
How could somebody find their tribe? Like, so you're an attorney. How did you find your tribe? Like,
I found my tribe with this company that I was telling you about.
Oh, good. The consulting company.
The consulting company, but I got the advice, and that's the other thing. Talk to people that have your best interest in mind. And talking about BNI, I was sharing with a group of attorneys at the BNI group at that time that I belonged to in Key Biscayne, and they're these big shots that have been in business for years, and they have their own law firm and everything. And 2 of them said to me, you need to get a consulting company, and they gave me that advice. I listened.
That's really awesome. That because that's something that I've never even heard of. And if you have that, it's a game changer. You're now you're not going in there blind, because you need to work on marketing, accounting, all this stuff.
Yes.
And then you have all these hats that you have to wear. But with somebody that's giving you advice, that's excellent. I really like that.
And there's associations too, even, if it's not a consulting firm, there's a lot of associations and networking for different areas of business that you can research and find out and visit. Even visit for free. A lot of times there are events that you can go and talk to the people and see if the vibe is there, if you feel comfortable with them, and how the organization works. Their organization for business women, there's a lot of in different areas too. So
that's really good advice. Well, I'm gonna put all of Alex's information down below. Make sure that if you need any help, this is the person to go to. Especially, she wants to help. So if she doesn't know the answer, she'll give you, somebody that might have the answer. But I want to thank you for being on the show. Thank you, for being my friend, and and it's always a pleasure.
And your customer too.
That's right.
I have my T-shirts and everything.
Right. I have a T-shirt company too, so we embroidered her T-shirts. So
can you see?
Yeah. So we everybody helps each other out.
Yes,
so it's amazing. Thank you.